live, and only 25 hours late.
I think it's 26 by now, but
26 hours late from the parking lot of the beautiful strip mall.
It's but ugly, okay?
But
as you know, anyway.
Well, I know one thing that's not but ugly.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
As a matter of fact, she's an ornament.
Yes, I'm dressed as Grandma Goes Shopping or a nun today.
There you are. Sister
used
Constance.
I used to play nun and dress up. My mother would help me in white tea towels because I nearly died of pneumonia as a child, and the white nun saved my life. Anyway.
Well, you look like these modern day nuns. You look great. It makes me feel like a naughty vicar.
It's only because you are. Well, I don't know what you did this week, but we've had an unusually wonderful, blissfully warm week for October here compared to the other two horrendous I complain about weather, but not this week. We don't even care if it's slightly over 100. We can deal with that. 123 we didn't like, and winds we don't like, and freezing cold we don't like, and back-to-back rains for everything's flooded we don't like. But right now it's nothing but amazing. I wish I could share it with everyone. It's lovely. Anyway, I decided to do something this week. I got out my paints. I claimed I was an artist for 12 years. Oh, I was probably an artist before that, considering everything is art. But I got out my paints and moved my desk, squeezed my desk and a bunch of paints into the kitchen, and started.
Because we've got a skylight in the kitchen that really
makes it 120 in there in the summer. But truly, not joking. But anyway, so I realized I have stuff to say, and it's better if I say it. I used to claim my paintings were healing affirmations. They're more like healing affirmations just for me, stuff I need to remind myself of. But anyway, so I started one again yesterday, but I realized that I only need about 3 years practice before I can do this again. I've forgotten how to do anything. It's kind of like riding a bike. Oh yeah, you halfway know how to do it, but then you're pretty wobbly at first. So anyway, and Lon, I've also been I've been on this thing about. I remind Lon every day. What do I remind you every day, dear? What are
you remind me to not feel guilty.
Yes.
Which is hard when I
with his mother and everything. So I obviously must remind him of it sometimes. Besides, he's a bit sloppy, okay? Not that he's not a genius, and he's getting extra funny in his old age, but anyway, so trying not to feel guilty about anything. And I think the whole world could do that, because when you feel guilty, you tend to want to attack other people, and it seems like that's all anybody's doing. So anyway, I'm still on my handing out blessings, healing blessings of healing and peace and freedom from fear, because the whole world needs that. We have real news sources. Believe it or not, the cable media and regular media, news network media has kind of a news blackout on quite a few things right now, and it's not doing anybody any good to not know what's really happening. We're adults; we can make up our own minds, but it is very painful to watch anyway. So healing and peace and freedom from fear and no guilt.
Wow, that's a nice nunly.
I know.
Yes.
I can't help myself. That's why I'm going to put this in painting, because I'm sure people get tired of me talking like a nun to them every once a week. But that's how I talk.
You're Mother Superior of the Baphomet order.
thank you for enduring. Lon's going to have something that you'll actually probably be able to use.
Yes. Well, I'm sure Bree's out there and Kevin's out there
and
Mary's
Bree's little
out there.
turtle is beside the bed. I think of everybody almost every day. I send them blessings of healing and peace and freedom from fear. And I'm having a day where I love everyone with my whole heart, just because it's so Octobery and sunny and warm. Although I'm bundled up because if anybody remembers Adina, she made this scarf. She was a dear soul artist, fashion
that we
creator,
knew in our youth.
We knew in our youth, and anyway, she was an unusual person.
Okay. Well, thank you, sister.
Are you turning the camera around yet?
No, I haven't turned the camera around because I wanted to see your backside. Yeah. Instead, here's another backside. Okay, I'm going to turn my steering wheel so I can get my camera. Can I watch you? Can I watch you walk away?
No.
I can't. Okay. Well, because it's the wrong day and because we're so late, we just got probably a couple of very loyal morning watchers. What, dear? We have a more intimate audience. So I can whisper. I can whisper. Oh. How was that? Okay. I've been, there was two things that actually there were three things I wanted to do today. As you know, I'm right in the middle of I'm deep in the heart of my new book project. And as always, that means I have a lot of references and things running around in my head. But when you start to write for publication, you have to properly make the footnotes and references and publishing information and page numbers and things like that. So there's a lot of crazy research and shit work involved, and so I have to sort of budget my time. I don't know what other writers do, but you get burned out after so many hours of writing. But still, there's more writing to do. But so I sort of split my time. When I get burned out on being, I guess we'd say, creative or original material, or things that actually require what I consider the good creative material. And that sometimes means sitting and staring at the screen and writing a sentence and then rewriting the sentence, then rewriting the sentence, and then writing the next sentence, and then writing 5 paragraphs and then put that original sentence back in. Well, anyway, you get burned out doing that, but I like to make things flow, and a lot of that sitting around is actually exhausting. It's mentally exhausting, and after a while, your brain starts to turn to mush, even more mushy than it usually is. And then instead of stopping, I turn to another part of the book that just requires time-consuming shit work. references, looking things up, creating graphs, creating charts, creating sections where graphics or photographic images are concerned. And I've been doing that, okay? And I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the year, up into springtime. So I'll be doing that all the time. So the mindless face of burned out lawn that you're looking at right now, you'll be looking at right up until springtime. So in that process, I ran across a couple things that I had read years and years ago that has remained in my library, but I just haven't pulled it out and looked at it in a long time. Then I look at some of my own material from books that I've written, and which is interesting because you get to see how much you've changed and how differently the nuances of meaning are in your life as you get older. Oh, here comes the big truck, going to make me scream at you. But I ran across something because I've been thinking a great deal about the world situation and how much of it seems, at least on the surface, to be the result of people of different religions with different spiritual worldviews killing each other. And I was looking at the Bhagavad Gita. Number one, I was looking at the Bhagavad Gita because it's the story of Arjuna, who is the archer, the great marksman, if you will, in an epic universal battle. And the Lord Krishna is his chariot driver. And Krishna gets all bummed out when he sees he's got relatives on both sides of these mighty armies. And I'm going to roll up my window. And even though he's on one side, as a matter of fact, the opposing armies all got together, and Krishna came out before they started and said, "Look, you guys, stop this. I'm gonna," and they wouldn't stop. And Krishna had this idea. He said, "Okay, one of you guys can have my army, and the other guy can have me." And Arjuna, who's just Mr. Cool, said, "I'll take you." And so Krishna said, "I'll be your chariot driver." And so he gets all bummed. Arjuna gets all bummed out when he sees that he's got loved ones and family on both sides, and the thought that he's going to have to kill these people. Not only that, but have these people kill maybe him and all of his people. And it just seems so freaking stupid. And so Krishna just, sits down in his chariot and says, "Shit, man." And then Krishna has Krishna preaches to him. And the sermon, I guess you'd call it, or his advice, is more or less the meat, the philosophical meat of the Bhagavad Gita. And so much of it sounds so much like the Tao Te Ching, the very beginning of the Tao Te Ching. It's just wonderful. Not only that, but so much of it sounds like sections of the Book of the Law. And so I don't know why I was looking up something that I wanted to quote the Bhagavad Gita, and I ran across that. And believe it or not, it then reminded me of something that I read in a little tiny book by Manly Palmer Hall called The Lost Keys of Freemasonry. And I'm going to share just a small portion of that. Now, Manly Hall is sadly no longer with us, but he wrote this, I think, back in 1923 when it was first published. This edition is a 1968 edition. And I found it. I usually, when I visit Masonic lodges, I check out their library. And some Masonic lodges have this book in their available to their members, and some do not. I think every Mason should have it. But in the Manly Hall's not just talking about Masonry like it's a club or a service organization, which it is, and people are welcome to join and take part in it at that level. But he goes through great lengths in the front of this book to open your eyes to the mystical wonders of what I guess the spiritual dimensions of Masonry are. And chapter 6, which is right toward the end, is entitled The Qualifications of a True Mason. Every true Mason has come into the realization that there is but one lodge, that is, the universe, and but one brotherhood, composed of everything that moves or exists in any of the planes of nature. He realizes that the Temple of Solomon is really the temple of the solar man, Sol Om On, the king of the universe, manifesting through his three primordial builders. He realizes, and those three primordial builders, I'm going to digress for a second, because Manly Hall has his own translation of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, which opens in the same way. If you're familiar with the opening lines of the Tao Te Ching, you can see the same story being told. As all things owe their existence to the will of the only one, so all things owe their origin to the one only thing, the most hidden, by the arrangement of only God. The father of that one only thing is the sun. Its mother is the moon, The wind carries it in its wings, but its nurse is a spiritus earth. That one only thing, after God, is the father of all things in the universe. Its power is perfect after it has been united to a spiritus earth. And how do we get back? Separate the spiritus earth from the dense or crude earth by means of a gentle heat with much attention. In great measure it descends from the earth up to the heaven and descends again newborn on the earth. And the superior and the inferior are increased in power. That's Manly Hall, digressing Manly Hall. So I'm going to read that one thing again. He realizes that the temple of Solomon is really the temple of the solar man. Sol, Om, On. The king of the universe manifesting through his three primordial builders. He realizes that his vow of brotherhood and fraternity is universal, and that mineral, plant, animal, and man are all included in the true Masonic craft. His duty as an elder brother to all the kingdoms of nature beneath him is well understood by the true craftsman, who would rather die than fail in this his great obligation. He has dedicated his life upon the altar of his God, and is willing and glad to serve the lesser through the powers he has gained from the greater. The mystic Mason, in building the eyes that see beyond the apparent ritual, recognizes the oneness of life manifesting through the diversity of form. The true disciple of ancient Masonry has given up forever the worship of personalities. With his great insight, he realizes that all forms and their position in material affairs are of no importance to him compared to the life which is evolving within. Those who allow appearances or worldly expressions to deter them from their self-appointed tasks are failures in Masonry. For Masonry is an abstract science of spiritual unfoldment. Material prosperity is not the measure of soul growth. The true Mason realizes that behind these diverse forms there is one connected life principle, the spark of God in all living things. It is this life which he considers when measuring the worth of a brother. It is to this life that he appeals for a recognition of spiritual unity. He realizes that it is the discovery of this spark of unity which makes him a conscious member of the cosmic lodge. Most of all, he must learn to understand that this divine spark shines out as brightly from the body of a foe as it does from the dearest friend. The true Mason has learned to be divinely impersonal in thought, action, and desire. The true Mason is not creed-bound. He realizes with the divine illumination of his lodge that as a Mason his religion must be universal. Christ, Buddha, or Mohammed, the names mean little, for he recognizes only the light and not the bearer. He worships at every shrine, bows before every altar, whether in temple, mosque, or cathedral, realizing with his truer understanding the cosmos of all spiritual truth. All true Masons know that they only are heathen who, having great ideals, do not live up to them. They know that all religions are but one story, told in diverse ways for people whose ideals differ, but whose great purpose is in harmony with Masonic ideals. North, east, south, and west stretch the diversities of human thought, and while the ideals of man apparently differ, when all is said and done and the crystallization of form with its false concept is swept away, one basic truth remains. All existing things are temple builders, laboring for a single end. No true Mason can be narrow, for his lodge is the divine expression of all broadness. There is no place for little minds in a great work. And it goes on magnificently too. The book again, and I'll give the publishing information. At least this edition was 1968, McCoy Publishing and Masonic Supply Company, Richmond, Virginia. And it's got those cool sort of halftone drawings by Augustus Knapp that did the sort of the Manly Hall tarot and stuff. Anyway, that's my rambling, very late, wrong day parking lot visit with you. Tomorrow is another day, and hopefully I'll be back in my cozy house. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love in your will.